Hello, everyone. Let me start our final screencast of week 7 with an analogy. A day without sunshine is like a dog without a bicycle. Is that a bad analogy or a good one? Think it over. And while we're on the subject of analogies, here's one that's specifically meant to be a bad analogy because it's a joke. It's the third extra credit question, of course. This analogy between a stick and a person's whole body. Now, if you look at what Weston's saying about analogies in Rule 12, they've got to be relevantly similar, the examples. They don't have to be similar in every way, but at least where the argument is that they are similar or implied that they are similar has to make some sense. So I'll leave you with that as far as bad analogies and good ones. Comedy uses bad ones. And you will probably see some as you investigate the comedies that you're working on for the assignment. Now, I know the draft is due tomorrow, Friday. So get that done. And again, 3 to 5 paragraphs, instructions 1 through 5. Once you've done that, say Friday, or if you get it in before then, great. I'll read it quickly and try to get it back to you right away. And there are a few things you'll want to also look at. In-text citation, some of you had trouble with that on the last essay, on the ethnic humor essay anyway. You'll need a works cited page, and you'll need to use MLA layout. Now, I put all that stuff in the writer's toolbox so you can see the samples and the instructions on item 6 here. And before your works cited page, but after the last page of your actual essay, we'll need an appendix. Since some of your sources will likely be ones that you choose that may be comedy specials or movies, motion picture comedies, of course, things like that, comic strips, cartoons, as long as they're comedic, they're fair game for sources. But you're going to need to illustrate what you're saying about them in some cases, especially if it's mostly visual in terms of comedy. So screenshots will help, or any other materials that are visual that you would put on this appendix page. And just before the appendix page, where your essay ends, just go down 4 spaces, develop a full detailed paragraph about computer software applications. And not just that you use them, but how you used them, okay? That's important. I'm going to look for that. And things I'm hoping not to see is over-reliance on summary of your sources and summarizing your essay at the end. I also put a few things here in the writer's toolbox on that last note. So let's bop on down there. Okay, in-text citations. And oh, by the way, if you open that up, it explains how to do them, of course. Some of you did follow the instructions, and the samples explain it pretty well. But also, regarding a works cited page, let's see, there was a works cited page sample. There you go. Just a quick note on this thing. The sample works cited page. And let's make it a little bit bigger. What I want to point out to you is that the author's last names are in alphabetical order on this. Okay, and of course, if you're using a TV show or movie, the author of the TV show is a producer, unless the writers are named prominently, like in South Park, for instance. And if you're using a film, the director is the author, even if the film's about a book. Okay, and also on the Writer's Toolbox, you'll see the MLA format sample, pretty similar. Some of you have already done that. Be careful, this is for the first page only, this information, and end in this order. And what I put down here as a sample paragraph is actually instructions to doing this, which is the tricky part in a way, getting your last name next to the page number. Okay? And that's it for now, I think. I did mention better endings. It's a little soon for this, since you're going to get going on revising your draft after Friday. But I give you just a little cookbook approach to a better conclusion that's not overly repetitive. And I will leave you with one more thing to help you avoid paragraph after paragraph of summary. This is important stuff, because summary only describes, it tells, but it doesn't show. One way to get around that, make sure that you're actually getting into details in film, use these templates I constructed, or television series, videotape live stand-up comedy, animation, comic strip, comedic song lyrics, comedic prose. This would be like an essay or something else. So I hope these help, and I'm looking forward to reading your drafts Friday.